The Beastheart, designed by Paul Hughes, is MCDM's animal companion class, and like the Fury before it, it uses ferocity. So you get 1d3 ferocity to start your turn, and then the first time in a round that creature adjacent to your companion takes damage, you get 2 additional ferocity. Now, if that sounds a little bit complicated, it's because the Beastheart is the second of Jossy's master classes. I wouldn't use complicated. I think it's just slightly more mental load to have 2 bodies to work, and that's ultimately the point of this class. It's yourself and your animal companion, or your monstrous companion. So you pick from a list of, wolves, bears, boars, as well as basilisks, gelatinous spheres, and little mini dragons. And you pick one of those, and they get their own characteristics, they get their own skills, speed, stability, and they get a few abilities you unlock as level up, and they come with their own unique maneuver. Now that's because of the unique action economy of the Beastheart. So you and your companion each get your own move action. You each have your own health pool, which is just the beast. The beast gets what the Beastheart has, and then independent from there. And they share one action and one maneuver. So if your Beastheart's using their rain of arrows kind of ability, then your companion needs to have a cool maneuver they can do, so they're doing something. And vice versa, the Beastheart gets a cool maneuver from their subclass, and that's what they use when the beast's off doing something. So already you're incentivized to throw your companion back into the mix because we're getting that bonus ferocity, and as you spend ferocity, they gain a resource called Rampage. And as Rampage hits certain levels, it unlocks kind of new features. So the big one is when they reach 8 Rampage, at the end of their turn they use a free maneuver to use their Feral Strike, which is kind of them lashing out in all directions, and it hits allies as well as enemies. Although you do get a nice kind of kickback from hitting allies, you get some surges, which kind of softens it a little bit, but ideally you wouldn't be hitting your allies. And it really makes it feel like the way you generate your ferocity and the way they react to Rampage really makes it feel like you're bonded with this primal force. It's all entirely under your control. And the lens through which you work with your companion is your subclass. So we've got 4 subclasses. We've got the Guardian, which is your kind of defensive, tanky, taunting subclass. You've got the Prowler, who's your sneaky ambusher subclass. You've got the Punisher, who's your big damage, kind of forced movement subclass. And you have the Spark, which is a sort of elemental power subclass. And from that you can create quite a broad array of Beasthearts. So I've been playing one for about 30 sessions, and I'm playing basically a Ranger with a Hound. And I'm using the Prowler subclass and the Wolf stat block. And that's completely different from my friend's Beastheart, who is a Storm Mage with a Lightning Tiger. But they both work really well with Beastheart. Not to say it could do any build, but I think if you take it from the resource of ferocity, if you're building from there, if you want a companion and you want to have ferocity and that kind of lashing out of the world as a core of your character, it's a great subclass to pick. And I love the lens of customization where you could play a Prowler with a Wolf companion, or you could be playing a Prowler with a Panther companion, or a Gelatinous Sphere. I'm not sure how to wrap my head around that one, but I'm sure there's a cool way to do it. In fact, I've already thought of one. So it's really neat, because you could easily have had it be a different way, where if you pick a bear, you have to be the tanky one. But stealthy bear, that's scary, and that's what the Beastheart is. Scary.